Okay, on to another very important segment for today. I should say before we get into this that The Spill is now on full Vodcast on Apple, which means you can go and watch this entire episode the same way you would listening to it. Just make sure, and I'm so bad about doing this, and this was a good reminder for me, to make sure that you've updated your phone, that you have the latest iOS so you can actually watch it. This is going to be very important. This is a very visual segment, guys. Okay. Don't worry, it'll still sound good in pod, and we'll put links to everything in the show notes. But if there's ever a time to watch us on Apple Podcasts, it would be just right now. Okay. So a movie that we've been talking about since it was first announced, and then we talked about it again when the first trailer came out, is finally coming out in cinemas next week, and it's called You, Me and Tuscany.
I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, because you love a rom-com.
Yes.
I love a rom-com. This is a brand new rom-com. It's been released in cinema. It's everything we've been asking for. The reason we reported on it when it was first announced is that the casting was very interesting. So the male romantic lead is played by Regé-Jean, who he's done a lot of other stuff, but also I guess most people would know him as the Duke from Bridgerton from the very first season. And I think many women are very much still in love with him.
We're still in love
from that season. And then the female romantic lead is Halle Bailey, who is obviously an incredible actress and musician, but I think a lot of people would know her as Ariel in the live action Little Mermaid. And she's so good in that, and her voice is so beautiful. So seeing these two team up for a romantic comedy, the excitement was there. People were all in on this story. So she plays a chef who kind of like through a series of events buys a last minute ticket to Tuscany. It actually was really kind of just like follow your dreams, be spontaneous. And I was like, yeah, I should do that more, but I never do.
We should go to Tuscany.
I know. That is what she was saying when I chatted to her. She's like, I hope people like follow their dreams and or buy a ticket to Tuscany. And so she ends up in Tuscany, and she has to pretend to be married to, this all makes sense when we watch the movie, married to Reggae's character, his cousin. But his cousin isn't there. And so she...
It's a wild plot.
Yeah.
She just wanders in.
Yeah. And so she's keeping a secret from him, but then their characters start to fall in love, but of course they can't be in love, or can they? And it's all like filmed in Tuscany. So it's one of those old school romantic comedy where the scenery also plays a partner, because you're seeing like the beautiful villages in Tuscany and the vineyards and the
Makes
roads.
such a difference as well than a set, which I feel like we see when it's like straight to streaming sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
it's
I was
not
like
the same.
When I went into, because I got to see a very early screening of this, when I went in to watch it, like I knew it was filmed in Tuscany, but I was thinking to myself, if this doesn't feel like I'm in Tuscany, I'm out of here. If this feels like a soundstage.
But so me and Tuscany.
Yeah, exactly.
Tuscany better be in the room.
Tuscany was in the room. So important. So it made me feel like I just wanted to go to Tuscany, have lots of wine and cheese, and fall in love with a hot vineyard owner. So, and also learn to cook. A lot wrapped up in that. So I was very excited when I got the opportunity to interview Halle and Regé. I was less excited when I saw that the interview was at 5 a.m, which means I had to get up at 3:30, which means I did not in fact sleep. But you know, that's the part of the job. People think it's so glamorous.
Yeah.
So 5 a.m, the Spill team, myself and Manisha, our producer, and Michael, our video producer, 5 a.m, we're all in the office. And I look like that Adele meme of like, here I am in full fucking glam at 10 a.m. Me in like full glam. Yeah. And I had really, because I'm obviously being filmed, and I've interviewed Halle before in person. I love her. So I wanted to look nice for her, but also I wanted to look nice for Regé because it was the Duke. And I just had to. So I thought I had done we had like got the whole, we all came in to like do the studio lights and set up everything and make sure it all looked beautiful. Because like.
And you are your glam squad. That's something to keep in mind.
100%. There's no glam squad but me. And I packed on the makeup so it would show up on camera. It's camera makeup.
Yes.
So I even like I tried to even like dress in the theme of the movie. So I have like a red lip and a red top and like a loose curl, and I was like, this is me in Tuscany. And so just to explain the tone of the interview before we play it, I need to tell you, so we had a few tech issues.
Okay.
Which is what happens when you're doing a remote, because obviously they're not here. They were in the Napa Valley, I think.
Oh, okay.
So the journalist who interviewed them in real life got to go to a vineyard. So I was a bit like, okay, I'm already feeling on the outs because I'm in a dark, cold office at 5 a.m. and
it's lovely here, but it's not a vineyard.
It's not quite the vibe. And so we had some tech issues, and so we're trying to set the cameras and lights, and then the guy who was filming the interview on their end was like saying like, we can't see you properly. So we had to sort of, long story short, we had to change laptops and cameras for the interview at the last minute. So I'd seen the first shot. I hadn't seen that. We just had to jump into the interview. Like we had to go. Mm-hmm. And so they come on the screen, Halle and Regé, smiling, being very pleasant. And then I thought I was imagining this, but Regé looks at me and he does a double take and he blinks and he blinks twice.
Is he in love with you?
Well, I mean, that is like, I was like, man, man, this
He
guy
fell in love.
he's taken aback by my red lip. No. I thought he was just taken aback by my red lip. No. And then something weird happened where my video of me moved across their faces. So then all of a sudden I can't see them. And I also realized that because I was hooked up to the old laptop, I've got headphones on, but they're not plugged into anything. So I also can't really hear them. But so I can't hear them or see them.
Okay.
And
which is not good for an interview.
It's not ideal. But this is the thing about these interviews is that you've got 10 minutes or so. You've got to make it work. You've got to jump in. So
they will stop you like when your time's done.
Actually, yeah, exactly. You've done junkets like this before. It's like military precision. You get your 10 minutes, you get what you can, and then you get out of there. And there's no redos. There's no can we fix anything because they're on such a tight schedule. Yeah. And so much time has gone into like getting this whole thing set up. So I was like, okay, I got to jump in. But in the back of my head, I was like, they were giving me such a weird look. And I'm like, can they not see me? Anyway, afterwards, and so they were lovely. And we'll play the interview in a minute. And we talked about like rom-coms and how important they are. Regé loves rom-coms, just as a little side note.
Of course he does.
Of course he does,
Just
because
the
they're
perfect
romantic man. And then Halle spoke so beautifully about, like, as we said before, like taking chances. And she's like really inspired by a character. And they talked about on set and all these things. And then afterwards, so then we can't see, once they logged off, we don't have the footage. The footage is then sent to us later by the production company that filmed it. And I said to Mon, our producer, I was like, was that weird? Or was that just like, they were great, but like there was a delay or something. And like at the end I could see them again and they looked at me weirdly again. And she was like, no, I think it was great. Like it sounded great. And I was like, okay. Now it's 6 a.m. and we've still got to do a full day of work. Yeah. So we kind of forgot about it. And then the footage got sent to us. And when I tell you that our video producer, Michael, opened the footage.
Oh, no.
And I sit on the other side of like our bank of desks where all the spill team sit, and hysterical screaming laughter from him and everyone who sits around us. And I was like, he's like, Laura, I see what they see now. And they're on the floor laughing.
Oh, no, I've already got my tears coming out.
Well, everyone was crying and I was like, it can't be that bad. And I come around and I realize what they were seeing. And now I'm going to show you. Just remember, I was trying to look pretty and nice. Okay. And this is what the Duke and the Little Mermaid saw. The camera, for those of you who are listening, can you see what that looks like?
That looks insane.
That looks insane. So the camera had somehow flipped you look like around.
A conspiracy theorist.
And it's centered in on me and my hands. And I talk with my hands. My hands look huge. Everyone was saying it's like that scene from Everything Everywhere All at Once where his hands turn into you can't see. Guys, we will post the photo on Instagram and stuff because it is just, I mean, I hate saying
What's
that.
happening?
Okay. It had somehow flipped. So I look like I'm in a tunnel. And guys, my hands, because of the way the lens is, my hands look twice the size of my body. And so that poor man was like, what is wrong with this woman?
And you are very expressive.
I know. The whole time I'm talking with my hands and they look like big flippers against the camera. And just Tina's crying, everyone. It is the craziest shot. And it's also like normally they don't see the whole studio. It's meant to be just cropped in on me. They can see the entire studio. I look like I'm in a hostage video.
It does.
And those two consummate professionals just kept going.
I was wondering in the interview, I thought it seemed like it was just a bit awkward.
Well, it's always a little bit harder when you're online because it's like it's easier in the room. I actually think they were, now that I know what they were seeing, guys, my hands, I cannot stress, look the size of flippers. I look twice the size of my head. My head looks tiny, like it doesn't fit on my body. It is the most, it looks like one of those, you know, like in those old school like funhouse mirrors where it distorts your body.
If I had a nightmare sequence, like that looks like a nightmare sequence from a movie.
It looks like, you know how like people get sleep paralysis and you see a sleep paralysis demon in the corner of your room.
But you have a very nice lip and nice hair.
Well, I know, but you can't see it because my massive hands and my tiny head. Anyway, so we realised afterwards that's what they saw. And now...
The whole time?
The whole time.
I need to see the full clip.
Oh, so, I mean, we're about to play the interview and I just want you to know that that's what they were seeing and they were still really nice to me and that's on them. They didn't once say, ma'am, how do you walk around with arms twice the size of your body and such a tiny hand? And why are you sitting in a massive room by yourself? Because it makes it look like I'm in a hostage room. Anyway. And now I also think the tech guy was like, are you sure you guys don't want to change your setup? And we're like, no, this is. Yeah.
Oh.
He was trying to help me. You could see what I looked like. He was like, girl, don't talk to them like that. Well, it's us because we had tech issues happen. Things break.
Things happen.
It wasn't there, and I can't stress enough it was us. Anyway, here's that interview. So here's my interview with... I just had to explain what we were all seeing in the office when this came out, and people are still laughing about it. And I was like, I can't believe that's how Regé thinks of me. And someone said he's not thinking of you, and I was like, yeah, no, he thinks about that demon he saw. He got interviewed by a demon. He's going to remember that.
Oh no!
So anyway, here's my interview with Halle Bailey and Regé-Jean Page for You, Me and Tuscany. So I started off I just pushed right through the tech difficulties, and I started off by asking them if they love romantic comedies and which movies they watch over and over again.
We love romantic comedies. I'm a huge fan of them. My top ones would be 13 Going on 30, The Wedding Planner.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
No, I think rom-coms are incredibly important. I go back to like Sleeps in Seattle as like one of my comfort movies, or like Four Weddings and a Funeral. But I think romantic comedies in particular, what happens when you don't have those movies in the zeitgeist or in theaters is that you don't have movies where people work things out by talking to each other, which actually is low-key incredibly
that's such a good point.
important. Yeah. And it's important to do communally. It's important not just to do at home or in streaming. It's important to go to a space and laugh together and be vulnerable together and cry together and see people work it out and become better versions of themselves. Like there's a place for that. And I'm so glad to be a part of remaking space for that.
So true.
Oh, I love that. I so agree with Reese Witherspoon last year when she said that she thinks that modern romance is suffering because we don't have these big rom-coms like You, Me and Tuscany coming out for sort of people to have that romance. And speaking of Tuscany, I understand that you did film a lot of the movie there. Was that a big draw card? And what was it like to be filming in that beautiful location? Because it just made me want to jump on a plane and drink a bottle of wine when I was watching this movie.
It's exactly what you should have done. You should be booking your ticket the second you leave the theater, you know?
Absolutely. We loved Tuscany. It was a dream place. I'd never been. I'd been to Rome and Milan and Sardinia, which was really beautiful, but I'd never been to Tuscany. And I've always heard about the wine and this is the place to be. And I was very excited. And when we got there, it just felt like a dream. Like it wasn't even real. Like you're stepping into a painting, and I was obsessed with it. I want to go back.
Yeah.
I want to go back.
We actually really do miss it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place to
Well, I think you just need a sequel. That's how we'll get you back there.
But it makes the job easier because this is the third character in the film. It's You, Me and Tuscany. And all we had to do was hang out in Tuscany, just drink in that landscape, drink in the vibes, the food, the people, the music, bring it home to y'all.
Oh, I love that. It just looked like a dream to sort of shoot there, and watching it from the cinema was a beautiful experience. And I wanted to ask you, the chemistry between Anna and Michael on screen is so incredible from that first meeting in the sandwich shop where we have our classic meet cute. What did you do behind the scenes, either in rehearsals or your first meeting? What did you do to bring the chemistry to life? Because I feel like that's the live or die thing with a rom-com. Like we have to really believe that we're seeing these people fall in love.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Regé is a very kind person, easy to get along with. And from the beginning, it was just easy because we were friends and we were really diving into what it means for Anna to have somebody like Michael, who she has similarities of background. They have grief, they have their passions that they bond over. They have so many things that align them. And the fact that they're able to pull out the goodness in one another and remind each other of what they've already had inside is really special. And it was fun to do that with Regé.
Yeah, I think that fell in place like from the first table reads. Halle's such a generous co-star. She came ready to play. She came wanting to play. And so immediately we're kind of bouncing ideas off each other. And from that, you build a trust really quickly because you realize that the other person is willing to receive things, they're throwing things out, and we're kind of enjoying surprising each other. So once you turn up on set and you're having fun, everything else happens almost by itself.
Oh, I love that. And you can really see that chemistry between them as the story goes along, and sort of seeing their backgrounds, their personal stories and everything they've been through kind of come together for them to find each other. So it was really beautiful to watch. And speaking of that chemistry that you have and all those long days on set, what was the most interesting thing that you learned about each other while filming, like little quirks or things that you like to do in your downtime? What kind of is the most interesting thing that as friends that you've learned?
I think learning about Halle's genuine passion for food and for cooking was a revelation and an inspiration.
Aww.
Like Halle walked in loving cooking
yeah.
and walked out being able to make cacio e pepe from scratch, rolling her own pasta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I was super impressed by Regé-Jean's driving skills. He is like a really good driver. He had to learn so many things to drive. He drove the Ape, which is like a motorcycle
Not
with
easy.
doors.
It's a motorcycle with doors and a trailer on the back.
Yes. And then he had to learn how to drive the convertible, which you said is no stick shift or whatever. Or stick shift.
No. It's before power steering.
Before power
so like
steering.
you got like the muscular turns to get that.
Yes. And I was very impressed. I would just sit in the passenger seat like, wow, he knows how to do all of this.
It's all knowledge.
Wow, all the new skills you've picked up while filming. And so I need to ask you about one of my favorite supporting characters in this movie that I was very impressed by, which is the sprinklers in the vineyard scene, and kind of bringing that beautiful moment to life where we see Michael and Anna really fall in love. And I love that it was such a spin on the classic Caught in the Rain rom-com from those classic movies, but kind of reinvented here. Please take me through filming that scene. It just looked so romantic, but I'm assuming standing wet in a vineyard for hours, taking your shirt off, all those things, was it as magical as it looked?
It's a technical operation.
Yeah.
I think trying to act with imagine trying to do your job while someone just kind of points a hose at you. It's distracting and be like protecting the hair and protecting Halle's eyes between takes. You kind of got this coming right at you. It's a lot.
There's a lot going on, but it was a great ending result, I think.
It really does make the movie, so thank you for that. And I also loved it that I stayed right till the end credits of the movie because we see all those kind of improv scenes from the tourists in the little van who come along when you're having the sprinkler scene. And it just made me think, are there any moments in the movie that maybe were improv'd a little bit or that changed from the script when you're actually on the day filming?
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely like the wine tasting scene. There's a lot of improvisation there. I think you see a fair bit from between the scenes where they just kind of left the cameras rolling while Halle and I were messing around. Sorry. But it's fun.
Yeah.
It came out pretty well.
Absolutely. I would agree with Regé on that. The wine tasting scene, that was real. That was us being silly as just Halle and Regé.
Was there some real wine in those glasses? Were they letting you taste some local delicacies or was it more having to be acting and professional?
All movie magic.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. And what do you hope that people sort of take away from this movie as we were kind of circling back to earlier, talking about needing to see people see these relationships on screen and see people work things out, but also have a taste of that old-fashioned romance. What is the one thing that you want moviegoers to sort of take away when they go into the cinema with probably a big group of girlfriends or family and watch this movie?
Yeah. I think for me, the main thing that I'd love for people to walk away with after watching this film is the feeling that they can do anything at the drop of a dime, even if it's impulsive. Like, you only live once. Get out there. Do what you never would have dreamed of. You know, do your honeymoon tomorrow. Like, just do beautiful things that you won't regret. And sometimes Anna's character, she finds her way around. Like, you can work through whatever problems you have. She, it takes her a minute.
She's a little too brave.
Yeah. It takes her a minute, but she gets there eventually. Yes. And I hope people feel that message and inspired for their life.
Yes, I think that's such a beautiful message because I do love that moment where she just jumps in the car and is like, I'm going to Tuscany. And in my head, I'm like, I know she's going to fall in love, but even if she didn't, I'd be so on board with this movie and just watching her really live out that dream.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you both so much for your time. And it's been so lovely to talk to you. And I so love this movie and I'm so excited for everyone in Australia to see it. So thank you so much.
Yay.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
Okay, given the context, that was a lovely interview.
Yeah, they're really sweet. And he kind of, when I was talking about the sprinklers and his abs, kind of skated past that because he's like, it was a bit like shy. But that is such an intense scene in the movie.
Oh my God.
Where, because they get soaked by the sprinklers and it's such a cool kind of riff on that classic like rom-com getting caught in the rain. And
they had to put it in the trailer as well. They're like, we need that man's abs in the trailer.
That is selling that movie. But can I just tell you, there's even more in the movie of like his like wet shirt getting pulled off and his abs. And like they were just like, we have this man and we have the hottest man in the world in this movie. And we're going to give the people what they want, which is so many shots of him shirtless.
Yeah, I like how he referred to
shirtless and wet.
Shirtless and wet. just in case anyone was wondering. I like how we've referred to it as a technical operation.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like behind the scenes of all the things that we think is so romantic.
Yeah.
And wow, I wish I got to film that with him, but the reality is like so different from that.
I know. He's like, I'm just trying to do my job and act and someone's pointing a hose at me. So I'm sure behind the scenes it wasn't as glamorous and sexy as it looked on screen, but it's pretty sexy on screen. So thank you guys for that. But yeah, they're really cute. And I liked what he was saying too about like the importance of having rom-coms and like, you know, seeing those relationships and what they mean to people. And it's, it is important.
I like what he was saying about how it's like an example of how two people can come together and work something out. Because I think that's what's like missing from modern day romance. Everyone has so many options. They're like on to the next. But in a good old rom-com, you know, you have people come through a challenge together, they grow together and they become better people on the other side. And of course he thought that.
Yeah.
Of course he's the perfect guy.
Oh, he's so sweet. I also love that he like rewatches Sleepless in Seattle and then she was like suddenly 30. I wish, because we didn't know the reboot was coming.
Yeah.
If I'd known, I would have been like, Halle, what do you think of the reboot?
Yeah,
like surely you can get Jennifer Garner on the phone and tell her not to do that. So they're very sweet and the movie is so fun and lovely. You know, if you just want to go to the movies and see a classic rom-com, go with your girls, go with your partner, go by yourself with a massive glass of wine. That's how I watched it. Not with wine because I was working, but I watched it by myself. But You, Me and Tuscany is in cinemas this April 9. And yeah, it's just a lovely watch.